Football, Rising to Glory as the Strongest Post Player. Episode 101. Li Qing performed well in the fifth round of the FA Cup, with 1 goal, 1 assist and 1 attacking plan to help Liverpool beat Leicester City at home. At the regular press conference after the game, the questioning media reporter fired at Klopp, asking him why he didn't bring Li Qing to the news. Klopp said seriously, "Li said that he is still young, and he will be interviewed by the media when he is 18, really, don't lie to you. Don't believe you can ask him." None of the reporters present rolled their eyes, and said in their hearts, "You are a bad old man." Media coverage on the British Peninsula once again focused on Li Qing, a supernova who had performed extremely well recently, but it didn't take long for the mainstream media focus in the British Peninsula and Europe to quickly shift to Leicester City, where they lost. Why? Leicester City senior management announced the termination of Ranieri's contract. Li Qing, who saw the media reports, was very surprised. If he is not mistaken, Ranieri should have played the first leg of the Champions League January 8 final. How? Ahead, don't. Is it the effect of his butterfly? Moreover, it is incomprehensible to dismiss a meritorious coach before the start of the first leg of the Champions League 1 and 8 final. However, many fans believe that the sacking of Ranieri is in line with the football trend, even if he led the team to a surprise league title last season. This season, except for the Champions League top group to reach the last 16, the league is simply a mess, only 1 point ahead of the relegation zone. The loss of N'Golo Kante last summer had a big impact on Leicester, but don't forget that Leicester also have both Vardy and Mahrez. There is no problem in attack, and the back line still maintains the integrity of last season, coupled with summer reinforcements. It should be an increase in strength. It is in this situation that the league Waterloo is encountered, and Ranieri as the head coach is absolutely responsible. Li Qing shook his head and focused on the next round of the league. Unfortunately, next week's league opponents are Leicester City, which are welcoming the new manager. But before that, there are Champions League knockout rounds and League Cup finals to watch. At 8 p.m. local time in midweek, the FA Cup 1/4 draw was settled, and Liverpool drew a difficult opponent, Jose Mourinho's Manchester United. The senior management representing Liverpool in the draw was speechless, and in addition to the Giants Manchester United, Manchester City, Tottenham and Arsenal who reached the quarter-finals of the FA Cup, there were 3 weak teams, from Millwall in League One, Lincoln City and Middlesbrough in League One. Apart from a slight headache in Middlesbrough, Millwall City are simply the ideal opponents to guarantee the semi-finals. Often in the quarter-finals, the big ball will become important. No matter how small a mosquito is, it is also meat. Liverpool manager Jurgen Klopp did not show up, but he watched the live broadcast, and the corners of his mouth twitched visibly when the team drew Manchester United. Why did Tottenham draw Millwall, Arsenal to Lincoln City and Manchester City to Middlesbrough, and his team has to face the strongest Manchester United? It's not scientific. Not all Liverpudlians are depressed by this draw. Li Qing is more excited. According to the home and away games reflected in the draw, Manchester United is playing at home, which means that Li Qing will go to Old Trafford with the team, the 5-star stadium in Europe, known as the Theatre of Dreams. Mourinho's team is good at defending and counterattacking. Klopp's team is also good at counterattacking. The difference is that Mourinho emphasizes the defense of the central midfield, which is often said to swing the bus, and Klopp emphasizes the team's high pressure. The essence between the two is the same, the difference is that the sense of déjà vu brought to the fans is different, so it also causes different word of mouth. With Pep Guardiola's tiki-taka tactics gaining popularity, it seems that fans around the world like to watch the tactical play of passing football into the goal, which is called offensive football. Mourinho's swing bus tactics were buttoned up as anti-football, although Klopp's coaching team is also a quick counterattack, but his style of play and tactics emphasize speed, higher physical requirements for players, and bias towards aggressiveness, so it is more popular, while Mourinho's swing bus belongs to the steady type. It is easy to be labeled as negative. Li Qing used to admire Mourinho, and when he met Mourinho's Manchester United, he naturally wanted to test the power of Mourinho's swinging bus. Whether it's the sharp spear that pierces Chelsea's and Tottenham defenses, or whether Mourinho's shield is stronger, he's looking forward to it. Before the start of the FA Cup 1/4 match, Liverpool have 2 league games left, 1 home and 1 away. 1 away to Leicester City and 1 at home to Arsenal. It is worth mentioning that the day before Liverpool's visit to Leicester City was the 2016 to 2017 League Cup final, and Manchester United decided England's first title of the season at Southampton at the new Wembley Stadium. Li Qing has a good memory, because he admires Mourinho. He remembers Mourinho's performance at the helm of Manchester United more clearly. If nothing else, Manchester United beat Southampton in the League Cup, and this season's Europa League title was also won by Manchester United, thus participating in next season's Champions League as the Europa League winner. Counting the Community Shield title at the start of the season, Jose Mourinho's first season in charge of Manchester United was perfect for winning a minor treble. Closer to home, Li Qing watched the live broadcast of the match at home, and there were no surprises in the process and result, and with Ibrahimovic's smash, Manchester United narrowly beat Southampton 3-2 to win the title. The next day, Li Qing went with the whole team to Leicestershire. the East Midlands in central England, to challenge Leicester City, which was replaced by a new manager. From the perspective of the starting lineup, Li Qing did not appear in the starting lineup, but fans basically know that Li Qing is still young, and it is not a good thing to play the main force too early. On the contrary, the role of the substitute will be greater. Taking over as Leicester City manager is Ranieri's assistant Craig Shakespeare, and I don't know why. The team that has fallen into a slump this season has been rejuvenated under Shakespeare. Vardy, who has not scored in the last 8 league matches, actually helped Leicester City open the scoring at the King Power Stadium. Milner's header from inside the penalty area was not far from the end of the first half, and Leicester City midfielder Drinkwater from outside the box extended the home team to 2 goals with a long-range shot. The live director gave the visiting bench a close-up shot, to be precise, to Li Qing, a supernova who has performed well recently. Liverpool fans sitting in front of the TV were not depressed by the team falling behind by 2 goals, but were full of anticipation. The team faced Wolves, Chelsea, and Tottenham Hotspur in succession, and they thought that this game was likely to develop according to this scenario. Episode 102. Just after the first half, the live director gave the home and away coaches a close-up of the face. Shakespeare was obviously a little proud, smiling. As a fire coach, his team's performance in the first half was perfect. Klopp, who then appeared on the broadcast screen, had an ugly expression and kept a straight face until he entered the players' tunnel. Li Qing, who has not been called by manager Jurgen Klopp, is somewhat depressed, but he is full of confidence in himself, and based on his past performances and the positive changes brought about by the coming off the bench, manager Klopp cannot ignore it. Chelsea, who started the game, have beaten Swansea 3-1, and if the team failed to pick up points away from home, the gap will be widened again. With one less round missing from the league, the difference almost means that the league winner is likely to be Chelsea. Lux Sports commentator Jean June talked about his worries in the live broadcast room. Liverpool's bad problem of lack of concentration in the first half has reappeared. I don't know if it will change in the second half. I think the fans and audience hope that Li Qing can come off the bench to turn the tide, but don't forget, the games that have been reversed in the past have been at Anfield, and this league game at the King Power Stadium may be a little different from the few games that have been reversed in the past. Li Qing, who was warming up at the Imperial Power Stadium, did not think so. He sat on the sidelines and watched clearly, and the 2 goals lost were all accidental, which could be completely avoided. It's just that Liverpool's current defenders are habitually distracted, especially in the case of back-to-back wins, and their vigilance drops to a minimum. If the team can stay focused in the second half, Li Qing has a way to lead the team to victory. Compared to the problems exposed by Liverpool's defense, Leicester City have bigger problems. But Li Qing lacks confidence in Liverpool's defense, and as a crosser, he knows why Liverpool reached the final of the Champions League in the 2017-2018 and 2018-2019 seasons, which was completely positive effect of the arrival of strong central defender Van Dijk. In addition to Matip is more reliable, Craven and Lovren are unusable, and Gomez is too young. Otherwise Klopp would not use the central defender combination of Matip plus Cass in this game. However, Li Qing believes that the newly appointed Shakespeare will definitely ensure victory in order for the team to reverse the recent decline, and when the time comes, it will definitely be a priority to strengthen the defense. As long as the focus is changed to defense, there are opportunities. 15 minutes of intermission passed quickly, and players from both sides arrived on the pitch one after another, and the 4th official stood gracefully on the sidelines. Apparently neither side of the game meant to make substitutions. The on-site director gave Li Qing, who was sitting on the bench, a broadcast screen. Looking at Li Qing in adversity is a phrase that has become popular in Liverpool fan circles recently. The fans sitting in front of the TV began to look forward to Li Qing's appearance. In the blink of an eye, the second half of the game has passed. The scoreboard shows that the score is still 2-0. And Klopp in front of the visiting coach has become more anxious. It's not that he didn't think about changing Li Qing, and the team changed Li Qing every time he fell behind. Isn't it equivalent to placing all bets on Li Qing? Li Qing's goal is good to say. If it is ordinary, it must not be sprayed to death by those media reporters who have no bottom line. Only 16 years old. 2 minutes into the game, Klopp made a decision at Bowich's advice, turning to the bench and saying, "Lee, come back in 5 minutes." Received. Li Qing, who was always ready, quickly took off his cold jacket and went to the warm-up area. Woo 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 woo. The King Power Stadium is not Anfield Stadium. When Li Qing ran over confidently, the Leicester City fans in the audience made a huge boo and gave it to Li Qing. There were even quite a few extreme Leicester City fans who gave their middle fingers, cursed and attacked personally. At this time, no one thought of him as a 16-year-old boy. Li Qing kept in mind the ugly faces of the home fans in the main stands. This is the first time he has been visiting the team since the beginning of his career, although he has been mentally prepared before the game. But when he really faces it, he knows that the preparation is only a drop in the bucket. He is very serious about jogging, sprinting, switchback and stretching, in order to put his best out of the next race and let the home fans know what despair is. However, at this moment, the stadium emitted a deafening huge shout. Li Qing, who was doing stretching movements, looked up at the stadium and saw Leicester City left-back Fuchs raise his left foot to make a cross. Laurana threw out his whole body, jumped up to block the cross. Li Qing, who was good at fake movements, could see at a glance that Fuchs was shaking a shot. Sure enough, instead of crossing, Fuchs' raised left foot quickly snapped back and completed the cross with his right foot. The football was fast and flat, and Vardy, who had already contributed a goal in the game, pressed Lucas, who was only 1 meter and 7 meters tall, to complete the header in front of the small penalty area. Goalkeeper Minale could not react and could only declare that the whip was out of reach. No one expected that Leicester City, currently ranked 4th from bottom in the league, would bounce back quickly after changing managers and lead league table leaders Liverpool 3-0 at home. Sky commentator Andy Gray's signature elongated voice sounded, and then the conversation changed. Liverpool are going to be in trouble. The game is going on for 60 minutes. The third goal. This almost means sealing the win. Shakespeare in front of the home coach was very excited. If you beat Liverpool by 3 goals at home, the team's morale will definitely be boosted, the odds of completing relegation will skyrocket, and even the second leg of the Champions League 1/8 final may rebound in full force and achieve a comeback at home. Klopp's face in front of the visiting coach's dugout was very ugly, and he was shouting something in his mouth. At this time, Li Qing jogged over and said in a deep voice, "Head, I'm ready." Klopp was angry in his heart, but he loved his disciple Li Qing from the bottom of his heart. His face was more kind. He reached out and patted Li Qing's shoulder, and slowly said, "You replace Adam. Don't have any burden in your heart. You can show your talent to your heart's content, shoot or pass to your own decision. Remember, don't have psychological baggage. Come on, bub." Li Qing was very touched in his heart. He knew that this was Klopp protecting himself, but he made up his mind that since he chose the path of professional football, he would continue to walk no matter how convinced he was. What about 3 goals behind? 30 minutes left? Time enough. Episode 103. Li Qing stood next to the 4th official. The first assistant referee held the flag high with both hands, and the referee on duty, Craig Ballon, sounded the whistle in his mouth, signaling the sidelines to make a substitution adjustment. Laurana saw that the substitution electronic card showed the number 20. He shook his head, took a regretful step, ran to the sidelines, and completed the handover ceremony with Li Qing. In his opinion, the score has become 0-3, which basically means that Leicester City have sealed the win. It's the King Power Stadium, not Anfield. Sitting in front of the TV watching the game live, Chelsea manager Antonio Conte was comfortable that Liverpool were 3 goals behind, which was great news for Chelsea, who won this round, and with 30 minutes left in the game, it is impossible for visiting Liverpool to complete the task of scoring 3 goals in a row. As for the anti-overtake, he did not think about this possibility at all, but it's still possible to save face. This is not. The broadcast screen shows Li Qing, who has recently become a popular prodigy. Lux Sports commentator Jean Jun changed his tone. Liverpool replaced Li Qing, who contributed 5 goals and 1 assist in the previous 2 league rounds, but those 2 games were at Anfield. This game at the King Power Stadium is obviously several times more difficult. 3 goals behind, less than 30 minutes. New England sports commentator Jean Xiangkai said in a deep voice, Li Qing, a young player who just celebrated his 16th birthday, replaced Adam Laurana, who was sleepwalking in this game. What will happen next? Will Li Qing be as big as the last 2 league games at home to Chelsea and Tottenham? Let's wait and see. Li Qing stepped on the court, and the boos of the Imperial Power Stadium became louder and overwhelming. Woo woo woo. But Li Qing ignored the boos that swept the stadium. He walked straight to the middle of the pitch, and explained to Coutinho, Firmino, and Maine about the latest tactical adjustments of manager Klopp. By the way, kickoff. I don't know if it's an illusion. Li Qing feels that Shinji Okazaki, who was walking towards the local half, raised his head proudly, snorted coldly. He was speechless. Vardy scored twice and Drinkwater World Wave has something to do with you. Of course, he did not calculate with Shinji Okazaki. The two were not a great player at all, and the initiative to calculate seemed out of line. Beep. With a whistle from Craig Ballon, Li Qing called the kickoff point to kick the football to Firmino, and he did not stay in place, running directly to the right front. A few meters later, a familiar figure was pasted up, and he turned to see that it was Ndidi who had tortured each other at Anfield Stadium a week ago. For Ndidi, Li Qing has a direct understanding. He is very similar to Kanté in all aspects, but the game experience and prediction are weaker than Kanté, so how to break through the defense? Li Qing has already become a bamboo in his chest. As Leicester City's main back, Ndidi has experienced a week of consecutive double matches, and this game has played another 60 minutes, and his fitness has dropped to a certain extent, although it will not be to draw, but it will definitely expose some problems in successive emergency stops. So, Li Qing took the initiative to ask for the ball. The football passed through the feet of Li Qing, who passed several consecutive kicks to the goal, and Ndidi quickly pasted it, not giving Li Qing the opportunity to turn around and face the goal. I saw Li Qing directly stepping on the football and pulling it back, changing the touch of the ball with his right foot, completing a non-passing dribbling and facing Ndidi. Because it was far enough away from the goal, Didi was considering whether to continue to press upward. At this moment, Li Qing's eyes lit up with an extremely wide vision, as if he noticed something. He directly took a long pass with his left foot, and the football soared from the attacking right rib about 40 meters from the bottom line, crossed the mid-air of the stadium, and flew to the attacking left rib. To be precise, the left rib of the penalty area. Main plugged in at high speed, and behind him was a gritted right-back Simpson. Central defender Captain Morgan watched the ball in the air and kept retreating, and Yu Guang had seen Main cut forward, so he must not rise to the top. I don't know if it was a mistake caused by thinking too much, and his takeoff during the retreat did not reach the football. Morgan, it's at the top. Leicester sports commentator Zhang Jun said passionately. As if he knew Morgan was going to rise to the top, he ran with his chest to steer the ball towards the middle of the box and face goalkeeper Schmeichel Jr. No one expected such a low-level mistake from the always solid Captain Morgan, and neither another central defender, Hote, nor goalkeeper Schmeichel Jr. reacted immediately. It wasn't until Main stopped the football that he reacted, but it's too late. Main completed a powerful blast with his right foot, and goalkeeper Schmeichel Jr. seemed to be frightened and stood in place without making any movement. The football slammed into the top right corner of the goal, and Andy Gray, a commentator from Sky, raised his voice an octave. Goo 1 dash. The ball went in. The ball went in. Xining sports commentator Jin Xiangkai shouted, the Li and Ma combination is connected again, and Li Qing's refined missile accurately finds the high-speed forward inserted Main. Main lived up to the exquisite long pass sent by Li Qing, and the powerful volley in front of goal helped Liverpool Lightning close the gap, and now it's 3-1. Main, who scored the goal, did not celebrate the goal. He ran directly to the goal, picked up the football in the net, high-fived Firmino and Coutinho by the way, then turned and ran straight to the middle of the court, put the ball on the T-point, and waited for the game to restart. Main's ability to score is directly related to Li Qing, who put the football on the tee-off point and opened his arms and hugged hard. Li, your pass is so beautiful. No, it's more reasonable for you to deal with the ball later, Li Qing said modestly. Klopp's expression in front of the visiting coach has changed significantly, from a sad face to a surging heart. Leicester City scored a lightning goal shortly after the goal, which a good sign. In stark contrast to Leicester City's new manager Shakespeare, his calm expression became a little anxious, and he didn't know if it was an illusion. He always felt that Liverpool still had goals. Vardy and Mahrez did not change their expressions immediately after the broadcast footage, apparently believing that Liverpool's goal back would not affect the game that had already set the tone. Leicester City fans in the audience agreed, feeling that Main's goal was a face-saving one. It wasn't until 3 minutes later that Li Qing tripped over centre-back Hud after breaking through into the box on the right side of the attack, and referee Craig Bowson decisively sounded the whistle. Penalty. Penalty kick. Leicester sports commentator Zhang Jun looked at the slow-motion replay and shouted in high spirits. Hute stretched his foot half a beat slower. Li Qing took the ball and burst into the box and tripped over him. Undisputed penalty. Milner hit the penalty and the score changed from 3-1 to 3-2, and both Shakespeare and Leicester City players felt a lot of pressure. Episode 104. Liverpool's 2 goals were scored by Main and Milner, but everyone knows that the real contributor is Li Qing, who changed the pace of his bench from first gear straight to fifth gear, first directly assisting Main to narrow the scoreline, and then using excellent foot skills to help the team win penalties. Leicester City's new manager, Shakespeare, can't sit still, and he's ready to make changes to his team. The mood of Leicester City fans at the King Power Stadium was clearly not as high as at the start of the second half, and the home atmosphere they created was negligible compared to the Liverpool fans who came with the team. You'll Never Go Alone sounded in the away stands, and the song grew louder and louder as time went on. The fighting spirit of the Liverpool players on the field has become more and more tenacious, and many 5-5 goals will be snatched for football with the momentum of others. In the 69th minute, Leicester City made the first substitution of the game. Number 13 Almaty replaces Sun's international Shinji Okazaki. The second son of J-Sports TV commentator from the Sun country said depressedly, "We see Shinji Okazaki's efforts in this game, and now he has successfully retired. I hope Leicester City will not live up to Shinji Okazaki's efforts in the first 60 minutes in the remaining game time. Come on." The workers and students in the Sun country listened to the scoffing. This commentator is really useless except for the special voice. Shinji Okazaki as a striker did not shoot until he was replaced before the field. The whole game was defensive. Try to ask, what is the use of such a striker? Don't. The second son of this side read the media report praising Zhang Qingdong back then? Defensive forward? To get back to the point, Leicester City, who were scored twice by Liverpool, became cautious, choosing to take the initiative to give up the ball when the frontal attack could not open the situation, and honestly played defensive counterattack. Li Qing, as the one who sounded the clarion call for counterattack by Liverpool, received the most attention in the audience. Sky TV commentator Andy Gray laughed. Is Li really a teenager who just turned 16? I think Every defender at Leicester City is very jealous of him. Shakespeare, considering that Li Qing had an accurate long pass, sent 2 or 3 people to focus on Li Qing, 2 of which were frontal defense and side defense, and the remaining one was supplemented by reading the game. However, Li Qing's skills are outstanding, fast and explosive, and his body is not the kind that cannot withstand confrontation, and the defense of the 2 Leicester City players is really difficult to completely limit in addition to fouls. In addition, Leicester City except for Almaty is a substitute, other players have played more than 70 minutes of matches, and some players even played the first leg of the Champions League January 8 final 3 days ago, and the physical consumption is quite obvious, and they can't keep up with Li Qing's breakthrough rhythm. Ndidi had official statistics before Li Qing came off the bench and won the game with 8 steals, but when Li Qing came on, he didn't have any chance to perform. In order to curb Li Qing's continued threat to defense, he also paid a price. At this time, the substitute Almaty came into play. In addition to his strong defensive ability and excellent running ability, Almaty has a very high level of concentration. In other words, high tactical execution. Due to Li Qing's close watch, Liverpool's attack seemed to be stuck in mud, and the time entered 80 minutes, and the scoreboard showed the score was still 3-2, with Rust City at home ahead of Liverpool. Shakespeare looked back at the bench, and he shook his head when he wanted to make a replacement. Or is the bench depth not enough? Li Qing, who has yet to score a goal in this game, has worked very hard, running despite his physical strength under close watch, while constantly observing the Leicester City defense. In the blink of an eye, the game was 85 minutes into the game, and Leicester City fans in the audience re-showed themselves, creating a feverish home atmosphere and cheering for the home team. Leicester City manager Shakespeare felt that the game would hardly be unexpected and returned to the dugout. However, at this moment, as soon as his butt touched the coach's stool, the audience seat remembered an exclamation, "Ayo ayo 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 ayo." He stood up in a panic, walked quickly to the coach's command area, and saw Firmino, Main and Coutinho forming a triangle clip to grab the receiving Almaty. Almaty was obviously out of proportion in the face of the 3-man defense, and his pass to Fuchs was wrong, and it was passed directly to Li Qing, who blocked the passing route. Shakespeare never dreamed that Liverpool had not yet created a great chance, but his own side took the initiative to make a passing error. Left-back Fuchs, who performed well in this game, gritted his teeth and chased hard, but where can he match Li Qing's speed? Central defender Hutt and Mo are not known for speed at all, and they were both born in 8 or 4 years, and their ability to catch up further declines as they age, and it is obviously unrealistic to compete with Li Qing. Hutt, who was closer to Li Qing, could not manage so much, and he took the initiative to rush towards Li Qing, ready to delay Liverpool's rapid counterattack with a foul. He saw that Li Qing was about to touch the ball and fell to the ground and put down the shovel, and wanted to stretch out his foot to stop Li Qing's soccer ball. What he didn't expect was that Li Qing's raised right foot did not wade the ball, but used the ball to the left with the ball of his forefoot. So, the impulsive Hout slid quickly past a meter in front of Li Qing against the grass. It was too late for Morgan to chase Li Qing forward, and goalkeeper Schmeichel Jr. made a quick decision and was ready to abandon the goal. Li Qing is very fast, Liverpool's offensive closest player to the bottom line, so that Morgan does not dare to completely chase Li Qing. He must watch out for Li Qing to pass the ball to Firmino, but he was left behind by Li Qing in the right rib of defense. Leicester City players at the King Power Stadium frantically booed, hoping to influence Li Qing in this way. But Li Qing now only wants to help the team equalize, and does not pay attention to the psychological offensive created by the outside world. He brings the ball to the right side of the arc top of the big penalty area, and goalkeeper Schmeichel Jr. abandons the goal. When Schmeichel Jr. came to the penalty spot, Li Qing came to the line of the big penalty area with the ball. He stepped forward with his right foot, and rubbed his left foot to the bottom of the football. The football slowly took off into the air, and Schumacher Jr. subconsciously stepped back when he saw the incoming ball, and chose to give up in less than 2 steps. In his judgment, everything is in vain unless it has had a long enough time to react. Crazy game. Liverpool, the king of reversals. Lexi Sports commentator Jean Jun shouted hysterically. Li Qing, who scored the goal, did not celebrate the goal. He bypassed the puzzled Schmeichel Jr. and scooped up the football in the net. Now it's just a draw, he wants to win. Episode 105. No one expected that Li Qing would choose the most foot-testing hanging shot in the face of the long-famous Schmeichel Jr., and the home fans of the King Power Stadium were briefly lost, leaving only Liverpool fans in hysterical hysteria. Liverpool manager Jurgen Klopp's signature cheer was first displayed at the King Power Stadium, and the whole person was hideous like a devil. But Liverpool fans in front of the TV liked Klopp like this. Passionate, contagious, a team with such a manager, still afraid that it will not be able to play beautiful football and results. Li Qing ran back holding the football in his left hand, and gave high fives to his teammates such as Firmino, Main, and Coutinho with his right hand, which was a simple celebration goal. Vardy and Mahrez, who slowly walked towards their own half, had no expression on their faces, and their eyes looking at Li Qing were full of horror. 20 minutes ago, the game was still 3 o'clock, and now it has become 3:3? It's incredible. Tens of thousands of Leicester City fans are still dumbfounded, with a sense of dreaming. Such a plot, I am afraid that only dreams can have, right? 3-goal lead equalized? Leicester City manager Shakespeare's brows were already twisted, and when Vardy scored his second goal of the game, he was sure that the game was basically over. But the game was not over, and the score turned into 3-3. Damn it. He looked up at Li Qing on the pitch, and it was the 16-year-old boy who was able to turn the game around in this game, first directly assisting Maine to score, then breaking through the point and finally equalizing the score. The live director gave a slow-motion replay of the goal, and New England sports commentator Jean Xiangkai solemnly explained, "Let's recall once again Liverpool's equalizer goal. Coutinho, Firmino, Maine and Li Qing's sudden high pressure was the core part of this goal. But Li Qing's speed and technique also played a crucial role. The last hanging door is the most important link, otherwise the previous series of processes are useless." Hanging, a 16-year-old boy, how big a heart must be. This is the English Premier League. If it is placed on the players of the Chinese Super League, dare to do this? What an enviable little guy. Sky TV commentator Andy Gray shouted with excitement, "The English media say that Marcus Rashford is the wonder boy, and I can now tell everyone here, Lee is the real wonder boy. Every game he appears in can turn decay into magic, lead the decadent Liverpool to the light, and if it weren't for that youthful face, I think many people would think he is a superstar." Tomorrow's headlines, Lee is going to take it all over again, guest narrator Martin Taylor said. The game resumed. Leicester City, who scored 3 goals in a row, were certainly not willing to accept this outcome, and the new manager Shakespeare stood in the home team's coaching area, his hands in the side pockets of his trench coat, his eyes staring coldly at the court, and if he could, he hoped that the team could overtake again. But reason tells him that if he does, the backline that strengthens the attack will definitely become extremely vulnerable, and attacking combinations such as Li Qing, Maine, Firmino, and Coutinho will definitely find opportunities. It's good to say that the first goal is good. I am afraid of being scored. Not afraid of 10,000, just in case. What to do? Hold the draw? When this thought came to mind, he did not deny it immediately, but frowned and pondered, and Liverpool, who scored 3 goals in a row, was very imposing. Even if he sat at home, he may not be the first goal. Anyway, the team has not fallen into the relegation zone yet, and it is not unacceptable to draw at home with Liverpool, and besides, isn't it a draw before the game? Mahrez, who had the ball, tried to open a gap on the right flank of the attack to help his team go over the score again, but with limited teammates to participate in the attack, his dribbling quickly fell into the siege, opting for a long-range shot without extra options. His shot was blocked by the frontal defender Milner, and the refracted football flew to the top of the arc of the big penalty area, and Drinkwater, who saw the incoming ball, remembered the world wave of the game, and his chest burst with blood. At the moment when he raised his right foot, a person suddenly appeared in front of him, and out of instinct, he put down his right foot. Emre Can gave the ball a forehead to centre-back Matip, who kept the ball straight at the big foot. Hey! Before Klopp could finish sighing, Yu Guang saw a red figure quickly chasing the football flying to the right. Li Qing. At the back of the back, Didi turned to chase Li Qing, but he soon realized that the speed was thrown out by the other party for a full 2 streets. The closer Leicester City player was the substitute Amatai, who accelerated from the side, ignored the football, and rushed directly towards Li Qing. Li Qing noticed that Amatai was rushing murderously from the left. Without distracting, his feet alternately pedaled the ground at a faster speed, while consciously circling outward. It was also a little outside that Amatai only hit Li Qing's jersey that was running forward quickly, and due to a miscalculation, the fans in the audience saw it as a football mistake and fell to the ground. Centre-back Hut is not as reckless as Amate, and he is stuck in Li Qing's necessary route, waiting for the right distance to decide whether to defend regularly or unconventionally. Regular defense wins with technique, unconventional defense is a foul. Even if you get a red card, you don't hesitate. Li Qing crossed the center line during high-speed running, and used the arch of his right foot to pad the football forward with the arch of his right foot before the football flew out of the bottom line, and the football quickly rushed forward for more than 10 meters. Mistakes? No. He is going to forcibly overtake. Give yourself a pass in 3 seconds. Ayo. A huge exclamation erupted over the Imperial Power Stadium. I saw Li Qing like a red lightning, passing at high speed on the right side of the Imperial Power Stadium, and the frequency of the rapidly swinging legs was extremely fast, and it was almost impossible to see the swing of the calves. Hu Ti's pupils shrank sharply, and he accelerated towards Li Qing's forward-running route. As a result, a very ornamental scene appeared on the field. A straight-line sprint, a diagonal sprint, will eventually meet at the intersection. The tonnage of the two was not in the same heavyweight class at all, and the eyes of Leicester City fans in the audience bloomed with bloodthirsty light, as if they saw Li Qing being knocked off by a tall Hout. Liverpool manager Jurgen Klopp raised his hands and faced the referee, who in his eyes was a deliberate foul of extreme vibration. In order to avoid Hut's side collision, Li Qing, who was running at high speed, consciously went around outside the right sideline, which was equivalent to deviating from the original trajectory of movement, resulting in the two not having the opportunity to completely intersect. Li Qing was fast enough, and Hu Te, who saw the opportunity, just hit the lateral deltoid muscle of Li Qing's left shoulder with his right shoulder. Although Li Qing's center of gravity was unstable under his feet, the problem was not big, and he stumbled with open arms to maintain his body balance, and did not fall. The referee's whistle in his mouth did not sound, and his arms were raised flat, signaling that the game continued. Episode 106. Li Qing stumbled to chase the football that was more than 10 meters out, and the heavy blow of Hut's miscalculation caused the body's center of gravity to not be retracted, and the whole person was even more tragic than Amatai, directly rushing out of the right sideline. The reporters who were squatting on the side of the stadium with cameras saw the tall and horse-sized Hut rushing like a fled beast, and his physical potential completely exploded at this moment, dodging in the left and right directions respectively, and the Hut without meat pads hit the billboard outside the stadium. Fortunately, the LED electronic billboards on the sidelines were strong enough, and it was just like that, and Hutter was choking on pain. Of course, not many fans at the King Power Stadium focus on Hutter, and Li Qing, who is chasing football, is the focus. After maintaining his balance, he picked up speed again and chased the football. Since Hutter is the last defender in Leicester City, goalkeeper Schmeichel Jr., who saw Li Qing's impact speed decreased, his eyes flashed, and he immediately chose to abandon the goal. It's just that I hesitated when I first arrived at the top of the arc of the big penalty area. Li Qing's speed is getting faster and faster. Originally, according to the vision of the fans in the main stand, the football is closer to Schmeichel Jr., but after a few moments, Li Qing, who is significantly faster, makes up for the lack of distance. In addition, Li Qing's previous right foot arch is very characteristic of the trend. The football will not be faster and faster like the toe poke. On the contrary, the forward speed continues to decline after more than 10 meters. Schmeichel Jr. has a lot of experience in attacking, and he is clearly aware of this. But the goalkeeper's biggest fear is to strike halfway, so after hesitating for a moment, he starts accelerating again. Anyway, he is the last defender in Leicester City, and it is good to be able to take the lead to solve the game, and the responsibility for the slow half-beat does not fall on him, who let Amatai and Hutter foul one after another without effect. Li Qing is the kind of player who runs faster and faster, watching the corners of Schmeichel's mouth slightly upturned, raising a good-looking arc. The live director was also interesting. He cut a close-up of the side push to the face, which was equivalent to allowing fans in front of the TV to clearly see the confident smile hanging on Li Qing's face. Although Li Qing is only 16 years old, he looks very handsome. Whether he is an Easterner or a Westerner, he feels that his smile at this time is very charming, and even many female fans say road-turned fans. The distance of less than 10 meters was fleeting, and the speed gap between the two quickly became apparent, when Li Qing was less than 3 meters away from football, and Schmeichel Jr. was still 5 meters away from football. In this case, Schmeichel Jr. changed the goal of the release to a foul. The scoreboard is still 3-3, and if you can exchange a red card for a point from the team, it will be worth it. On the road to relegation, one more point is one more hope. The goalkeeper defends one-on-one, like a pounce, relying on luck to pounce on one side. Li Qing poked the football to the left front on the tip of his left foot, and the person was divided from the right, that is, the human ball. Little Schmeichel instantly fell into a brain short circuit and went over there. By the time he could react, both man and football had crossed his defense. It's gone. Passed. Li Qing chased the football he passed 3 seconds ago. Lux Sports commentator Zhang Jun cheered with high emotions, shouting for Li Qing's wonderful breakthrough. As a die-hard Liverpool fan, what is better than seeing your beloved team kill the opponent? At the top of the table, Chelsea have already extended the gap to 8 points after the first game, and if they draw this round, they will also increase to 7 points, and if they do not win, they will have a chance to win the first league title since the establishment of the Premier League. As a recognized fair commentator, every goal is explained with excitement. But this goal, it's different. The next thing was very simple for Li Qing, bypassing Schmeichel Jr. to catch up with the football, and then in the desperate eyes of all Leicester City fans, he pushed his left foot lightly, his foot rose and fell, and the football slowly crossed the goal line against the grass and fell into the net. Go 1. Sky commentator Andy Gray, who has been waiting for a long time, finally waited for the football to enter the net. The ball went in. New British sports commentator Jean Xiangkai was ecstatic. Li Qing passed the goalkeeper Schmeichel Jr. to push the empty goal to score, and the score became 4-3. Liverpool scored 4 goals in a row to turn defeat into victory. Li Qing completed his second goal of the game. It was also Liverpool's 4th goal of the game. Liverpool reversal gene activated again. 43. 4 goals in 30 minutes. It is the spirit of the Red Army that never says die. How can such a Liverpool not be loved? Lux Sports commentator Zhang Jun shouted hysterically. At the same time, the King Power Stadium became so silent that even visiting and neutral fans forgot to make a sound. Li Qing, who scored the goal, did not care about this. He opened his arms, ran all the way, dodged teammates trying to intercept the celebration, ran to the visiting coach's dugout, jumped on the back of head coach Klopp, and vented the huge emotional release brought by the overcome. Players and bench players flocked to the field, including goalkeeper Minale, who left their area and rushed to the visiting coach's command area. Only then did the Liverpool fans who accompanied the team erupt into loud shouts. Although they are completely at a disadvantage in numbers, the current Leicester City fans are all dead faces. Their mood has fallen to the bottom. Where will they be in the mood to sing the opposite? From 3 o'clock to 3:4. And playing at home, such a huge gap is difficult for anyone to accept. Leicester City's new head coach, Shakespeare, crouched in front of the home team dugout, his eyes blank, not knowing what he was thinking. Leicester City on the field side and held their heads up to the sky, obviously unable to accept this reality. The live director first gave a shot to the Liverpool players who celebrated the goal, and then gave the Leicester City players who lost their souls. The huge contrast underscores just how destructive Liverpool's comeback has been. Liverpool fans in front of the TV erupted en masse, shouting, crying wolves, hysteria. In their own way, they vent the emotional outburst brought about by the super reversal of their beloved fans. The last time a 3-goal comeback was in Istanbul 12 years ago, when Liverpool were on the Champions League final after falling behind by 3 goals. 12 years later, the visit to the King Power Stadium has achieved another epic comeback, and Liverpool fans are thinking that Liverpool won the Champions League final that year, and this year's Liverpool. Will you win the league? Episode 107. The reason why Liverpool was able to score 4 goals in a row at the King Power Stadium, everyone knew that this was Li Qing's credit, and the live director obviously knew this, and the broadcast screen continued to be given to the 16-year-old boy. The league began at home to Chelsea, and he has contributed 7 goals and 3 assists in 3 league substitute games to bring Liverpool to 3 consecutive wins. Chelsea, the league leader, have been in good form lately, and if Liverpool lose successively during this time, the difference between them will be widened, and even the top 4 in the league cannot be guaranteed, and fans watching live TV will remember the teenager wearing Liverpool's number 55 shirt. Whether or not he can perform as well in the future as he does now, he will go down in history. At the age of 16 and 14, he has scored 7 Premier League goals and he has only used 3 bench games. 7 goals, for many ordinary strikers, is a season goal. Liverpool's goal celebration took longer and would have been longer if referee Craig Bowson had not stepped in to stop it. However, for the battered Leicester City players, it is the same whether they can stop it or not. Anyway, they just want to end this extremely humiliating game as soon as possible. As last season's league champions, they are only 1 point ahead of the relegation zone this season, and no one can recover their morale in a short time with such a huge contrast and a big comeback. Chelsea manager Conte, who watched the live TV broadcast, pressed the power button in frustration and sighed. This teenager named Lee is really fierce, 2 goals and 2 assists. Otherwise Liverpool lost at the King Power Stadium. Hey, it's a pity. Victor Klopp, the head coach of Liverpool who celebrated, was not carried away by the lead. He clapped his palms hard, clenched his fists in his right hand, and constantly hit the palm of his left hand, making a crisp pop sound, and said to the player with a heavy face, "The game is not over yet. We can't take it lightly. Only when the game is completely over is victory. And the last few minutes, come on." In the end, he slapped Li Qing's left shoulder hard. "Good boy." Li Qing grinned in pain, but he was in a good mood with a smile on his face, raised his right fist, slapped his left chest, and sent "Then you still need to say?" Don't look at who is the head coach of the team, this kid. Looking at Li Qing, who was stepping back onto the court, Klopp shook his head and smiled. When he decided to promote Li Qing, he didn't expect that there would be today. This feeling was like a deliberate decision to buy a lottery ticket when he was poor, but he didn't expect that this lottery ticket turned out to be a jackpot. He had a hunch that Li Qing's goal-scoring form could be maintained forever. When the time comes, even Messi and Ronaldo at their peak are likely to have no way to compete with them. It's just that, unfortunately, Mero is old. Ronaldo is 32 years old, and Messi is almost 30 years old. If it can be born in the era of Mero, it must be very exciting. How nice that would be. At the time of Klopp's wandering, the game has resumed. Leicester City players, who went from a 3-goal lead to behind, apparently had difficulty accepting the result for a while, and even with the opening advantage, there was no direct threat to Minale's goal. With Bardi firing an anti-aircraft gun with a long-range shot from outside the box, the game was declared into extra time. Jurgen Klopp quickly made changes to the squad, replacing Philippe Coutinho with young centre-back Gomez, to bolster the defense. The live director gave the King Power Stadium audience a shot, and fans watching the live broadcast on TV could see a large number of Leicester City fans lining up to leave the stadium. It's not hard to see that they already have confidence in the city. Coutinho, who was substituted, was dragging his feet and playing a sideline kick that dragged out the game, and referee Craig Bowson saw that the Leicester City players did not complain that Coutinho deliberately delayed the game, and he also turned a blind eye. Time passed by second. Leicester City coach Shakespeare wanted to restore the fighting spirit of the players, but in addition to the defenders still holding their ground, the attacking players seemed to have lost their souls one by one, and they could not find the state of the first 60 minutes. Originally, Li Qing wanted to find a chance to seal the win, but Leicester City defenders defended very toughly, and it was difficult for him to find opportunities. Plus, manager Klopp has replaced Coutinho and Firmino successively through substitution adjustments, releasing signals to strengthen the defense when time is running out, which is equivalent to saying that the offensive end can only rely on him to fight alone. 3 minutes of stoppage time passed quickly, and the scoreboard still showed the score at 3-4. The home team is in front, the away team is behind. Half a minute after the game, Mara's cross was sent by goalkeeper Minale, and referee Craig Bowson did not give Leicester City any more time. He directly sounded the whistle, 2 short and 1 long, beep beep beep. The game is over. The game is over. At the same time, Luiko Sports commentator Jean June was ecstatic. Liverpool beat Leicester City 4-3 at the King Power Stadium with a Jedi counterattack completed in the last 30 minutes of the game. Li Qing, a Chinese teenager from Liverpool, contributed 2 goals and 2 assists. Note, Premier League penalties are counted as assists. Just speaking of this, the on-site director turned the picture at Li Qing, who was shouting with his arms, and Jean June changed his words. I believe that Li Qing, who is only 16 years old this year, has immeasurable achievements in the future. 7 goals in 3 league games and 3 assists. Counting the 2 FA Cup games, he contributed a total of 10 goals and 4 assists in 1 starter and 4 substitute games. Averaged more than 3 goals per game. Countless fans sitting in front of the computer watching live TV felt both excited and depressed, excited that Li Qing has blood, and depressed that Li Qing is a British nationality. England fans watching Sky have no such freaker, and they are now increasingly hoping that national team manager Gareth Southgate will be able to call up Li Qing for next month's World Cup qualifiers. The broadcast screen was given to Li Qing for a long time, which also meant that Li Qing was once again the best on the spot. Liverpool manager Jurgen Klopp was thrilled, and as soon as the whistle sounded at the end of the match, he showed his signature combination punch. Liverpool fans in the visiting fan stands cheered hoarsely, unleashing their beloved fans and venting their hard-won victory. The Liverpool players on the pitch ran to Li Qing after roaring in the sky. They knew that without Li Qing, the game would have been lost. Tong Shenbing, who was sitting in front of the TV, looked at Li Qing, who was surrounded by Liverpool players, and was very happy. It's her boyfriend. Episode 108. In the 2016-2017 Premier League season, after 26 rounds, Chelsea ranked first in the league table with 20 wins, 2 draws, 4 losses and 62 points, followed by Liverpool with 17 wins, 6 draws, 3 defeats and 57 points, and Tottenham Hotspur ranked third in the league with 15 wins, 8 draws, 3 defeats and 53 points. Manchester City and Arsenal are 4th and 5th, respectively, with 1 game less, while Manchester United, who also have 1 game less, are 6th placed. Visiting coach Klopp, who participated in the regular post-match press conference, was still questioned by media reporters, not that Liverpool beat Leicester City at the King Power Stadium 43, but that he did not bring the best Li Qing to the press conference. Klopp changed an excuse this time, and said without blushing and heartbeat, everyone knows that Li is still in middle school, right? He still has the weekend homework assigned by the teacher that has not been completed, which is not. Just after the game, I went back to the locker room and took out my homework book to do my homework. Don't you believe it? You wait, I'll show you the picture. The reporters present couldn't help but roll their eyes, but Klopp took out his mobile phone and found the photo of Li Qing doing his homework. Whether it's the background or the gesture, it's like doing homework. The evidence is conclusive, and journalists are speechless. Of course, Li Qing is not really doing homework, but the club thought of new ways to deal with journalists. In addition to Li Qing's amazing talent in football, his learning is also amazing, although the number of schools he has been going to school since he was promoted to the first team has been decreasing. But his academic performance has not dropped much, plus the teachers are almost all Liverpool fans, basically do not assign homework to Li Qing, which is equivalent to saying that Li Qing only has simple learning tasks and no homework tasks. Wait for the regular press conference of the home team. The atmosphere of the press conference hall of the King Power Stadium has dropped significantly, and before the media was dissatisfied with the dismissal of the meritorious coach Ranieri by the Leicester City senior management, and now there is a reversal of the 3-goal lead at home. And Shakespeare, as the new head coach, unfortunately became the target of the verbal criticism, which is indirectly responsible for the top management. As the saying goes, it is not a blessing to lose your horse. Even if Shakespeare, who helped the top management, led the first leg of the Champions League 1/8 final and 2 consecutive league defeats, the top management currently has no idea of changing coaches. In the information age, news spread at an astonishing speed, and physical newspapers were no longer needed, and the match between Liverpool and Leicester City had just ended, and the online coverage was overwhelming. The one mentioned the most is the prodigy Li Qing. It was his 2 goals and 2 assists that enabled Liverpool to set a new comeback record in a comeback win over Leicester City. Liverpool fans were ecstatic, Leicester fans were depressed. Last season's Leicester City were already quietly at the top of the league table, and now the league is fourth from the bottom. There are still 13 rounds left in the league, and whether you can go ashore in this state is a big question mark. The league title and the fourth from bottom in the league were hit hard by the huge contrast. Liverpool beat Leicester City with signs of rebound, and according to recent practice, manager Jurgen Klopp should have given players a day or two off. But not this time because the game away to Leicester City was very bad. Winning can indeed cover up a lot of things, but Klopp, as the head coach, can see it clearly. Without Li Qing, the team will definitely suffer a crushing defeat at the King Power Stadium. The recent back-to-back victories have made many players feel a certain amount of relaxation in their hearts. It has to be beaten up. With the overwhelming coverage of the match at the King Power Stadium in Europe's mainstream media, Li Qing once again became the focus of media coverage, and Liverpool's Echo and the Post used all the words that could be praised on Li Qing. The same is true of thousands of miles away, and the report on Li Qing is all round. In addition to training and communicating with Tong Shinbing through social software, Li Qing's usual life is to browse some sports news, and he is very pleased to see the media reports, but he is not lost in the sugar-coated shells of the media, because he is young now and has a lot of room for improvement. The next day, Li Qing studied at school in the morning and returned to the Melwood training base in the afternoon. Unexpectedly, the mental outlook of his teammates was much better than last week, and he couldn't help but think that if he participated in the visit to Leicester City with this mental outlook, would he be 0-3 behind? Apparently not. The game of football changes rapidly, and no one can say what happens in a second, but the enthusiasm of the players comes up, and each player runs one more step on the defensive end, and the collective is 10 steps. 10 steps, big in the way of walking, more than 10 meters in the way of running. In this way, how much defensive space is there to make up? The Liverpool players who traveled Leicester City were spurred on by manager Jurgen Klopp, and their training enthusiasm was greatly improved. They are not stupid, and they know that the next round of home to Arsenal at home will definitely be a tough battle. In addition to participating in training in Melwood, Li Qing usually enters the training ground to practice when he returns home to make his ability stronger. After nearly 2 months of training with the first team, Li Qing found that the improvement was still obvious through his personal attributes. All offense, defense, body awareness. Height, 179 cm. Weight, 69.5 kilograms. Position, right winger. Strong, 65. Fitness, 68. Tricks, 82. Ejaculation, 83. Shooting power, 62 plus 3. Headers, 53. Long shot, 59 plus 2. Free kick, 60. Penalties, 80. Sprint speed, 88. Acceleration, 90. Bounce, 64. Flexible, 72. Balance, 74. Shovel breaks, 34. Steals, 40. Card slots, 50. Eye-catching, 55. Dribble, 91. Possession, 77. Short pass, 62. Crosses, 68. Long biography, 87. Run without the ball, 75. Creativity, 85. Field of view, 92. Reactions, 74. Tiltability, 50. Willpower, 85. GK saves, 29. Ability points can be added, 0. Inventory, immune to severe damage, copper wall iron wall *1, health potion *2. Number of draws, 0. Gold, 781. Strength assessment, A+. Each attribute has increased to a certain extent, although it is not particularly obvious, but the sum of the items is different, and the increase in these values can allow Li Qing to win more confrontations in the game. Li Qing's only disappointment was that his height growth began to slow down, and he had grown about 6 or 7 centimeters in 3 months when he first crossed, and only 2 centimeters in 2 months after being promoted to the senior team. According to the system analysis, this has something to do with his premature increase in strength and frequent strengthening of physical strength training, which Li Qing can easily understand, which is also the reason why many athletes rarely do strength training before adulthood. However, as a professional player, being too tall is not a good thing. According to Li Qing's ideas, his height is preferably around 1.85 meters. Closer to home, the most watched match in the 27th round of the Premier League in 2016 to 2017 was Liverpool's home game against Arsenal, and with 3 or 4 days to go, fans on both sides went into war of words. London media and Liverpool media joined the fray, making the focus on this high-profile battle even more interesting. Episode 109. Liverpool and Arsenal are ultimately only competitive rather than hostile, and neither player and coach have joined the media and fan-led fishing battle. On the contrary, Sharppool manager Klopp also praised Wenger in a pre-match interview, calling him a meritorious coach who changed England's traditional way of play. Wenger is 68 years old this year, and he has enough coaching experience and life experience. Where can't he hear what Klopp means? Obviously, this is a sugar-coated cannonball released by Klopp. Ginger is still old and spicy. Wenger also praised Klopp in an interview with the media, believing that he is the founder of the new era of attacking football. Liverpool plays well, and led Liverpool to a wave of 5 consecutive wins throughout February, hoping that he will bear more in the future league. The two complemented each other, and many media reporters could not listen to it. It is worth mentioning that 2 days before Liverpool's home game against Arsenal, the official staff from the Premier League came to Melwood training base with a special trophy. This day is Liverpool's official half-open day, which means that fans and media reporters are allowed to come to the training base to observe the team's training, but journalists only have the right to film, not interview. With the home game against Arsenal just around the corner, the team's long overdue tactics are ready, so the players' training tasks for this day are simple. Grab the ball in a circle. It is also commonly known as the funny monkey. The media reporters, whose cameras focused on the Liverpool players, quickly shifted their attention and focused their cameras on the arriving Premier League staff. Everyone works in football and knows each other well. Liverpool fans who came to Melwood were puzzled, curious, and their eyes lit up. The middle-aged man walking in front is the official supervisor responsible for awarding the Player of the Month trophy, and the 2 staff members in the back carry a video camera and the other carry a wired microphone. Klopp in the coach's bench raised his eyebrows obviously. He had never let the media interview Li Qing before, he couldn't think of it. Today, an official Premier League reporter came to the door. Is it possible to find someone to replace it? But people awarded Li Qing the Player of the Month. Forget it, anyway. The content of the interview with the official staff of the Premier League is very simple. The Liverpool players who were snatching the ball in a circle noticed 3 special outsiders, and Li Qing, who was still addicted to grabbing the ball, saw the football at the feet of Wijnaldum. He looked up suspiciously, and saw Wijnaldum and Henderson and Arnold next to him looking behind him. Well, Li Qing, who turned around suspiciously, looked at the 3 unknown middle-aged men who came over, and asked Maine, who came over, Sadip, what are they here for? I'm here to give you an award. Maine's eyes were full of envy. What award? Li Qing scratched the back of his head and continued to ask. Lucas, a veteran who has been with Liverpool for 10 years, walked up to Li Qing and said, Player of the Month. His eyes were full of nostalgia. The last time a Liverpool player won the Player of the Month award was back 3 years ago, when captain Steven Gerrard and Suarez tied for the title in 2-0-1-4-3. At that time, head coach Rodgers also won the Coach of the Month. In the blink of an eye, 3 years have passed. That year's Liverpool were infinitely close to the league title, but unfortunately, Captain Gerrard's key slip. Thinking of this, Lucas shook his head and looked at Li Qing. He has a strong premonition that he may be leaving Liverpool this summer, which means that this season is his last season in Liverpool, which should have collapsed after the winter break. But with a teenager in front of him, he has led the team to consecutive wins. At one point, the difference between the 2 teams reached 10 points before the league home game against Chelsea, and thanks to Li Qing's amazing contribution, the team is now only 5 points behind Chelsea, and with 13 rounds left in the league, the team may be able to do a miracle. Unknowingly coming to Liverpool for 10 years, apart from helping the team win the League Cup in the 2011 to 2012 season, there is no glory. Maybe you're leaving Liverpool this summer, and you don't know if you can win the league or FA Cup this season, then there are no more regrets in life. If you can make up for the regret, it is also brought by the teenager in front of you. Li Qing's eyes brightened visibly when he looked at the official staff of the Premier League, to be precise, the trophy held in the hands of the staff member. As a Premier League fan, it is known for the Player of the Month award with the characteristics of the Premier League. Compared with the past Premier League official Player of the Month trophy, the current trophy is very different. In the past it was a round ball. There is a tray underneath. The current trophy is a cuboid integration. The color tone has not changed. The change is the airbrush point is different. Li Qing couldn't help but complain in his heart. This official design is really getting worse and worse. However, the trophy change did not affect Li Qing's mood, and he greeted the official Premier League staff walking in the crowd of teammates. The leading man took the initiative to smile and stretched out his right hand. Li, hello, I am Michael Jason, the official Premier League Player of the Month award specialist. Congratulations. One Premier League Player of the Month for February. Hello, Michael. Li Qing smiled, held the right hand stretched out by the leading man, and said with a smile, I don't think it's okay to give me the best Player of the Month. What do you say? Michael Jason asked curiously. Including the Liverpool players, fans, journalists, and members of the coaching staff who were present, they all looked at Li Qing curiously. Li Qing smiled and glanced at his teammates beside him, then looked at the camera, and said seriously, it should belong to our whole team. If there are no teammates, I can't score goals and assists even if I have 3 heads and 6 arms, right? As soon as everyone heard this, their eyes changed significantly when they looked at Li Qing. The veteran Lucas said in his heart, this little guy's emotional intelligence is really high. Recently, Liverpool won consecutive games. Li Qing, who scored more goals and assists, became the darling of the media and fans, which made some players in the team a little dissatisfied. They think that the media and fans speak too much with data. But now Li Qing tells the media and the official staff of the Premier League that his Player of the Month belongs to the whole team, undoubtedly telling everyone that his success is inseparable from the team. Those players who were dissatisfied with Li Qing couldn't help but nodded their heads. feeling that their past efforts were not in vain. Li Qing received the trophy, the symbol of the Premier League's Player of the Month, smiled and stared down at the trophy in front of the camera. The background of the cuboid trophy is blue and black. Blue occupies 4/5 as the main body of the award. Black occupies 1/5 as the tray. The trophy with the blue background has the official logo of the Premier League on it, the sponsor EA in the middle, and the bottom is printed with Player of the Month. Episode 110. When Li Qing received the Premier League Player of the Month trophy, he clearly heard a familiar system prompt sound in his mind. Ding! Congratulations to the host for winning the English Premier League Player of the Month title for the first time, awarding 10 ability points. Li Qing, who was facing the camera, smiled even more, especially brightly. With that handsome face, the staff in charge of shooting couldn't help but give Li Qing a thumbs up. Okay. What a natural star. Bear your promise. Li Qingba smiled calmly. Subsequently, Klopp stared at the official Premier League reporter, like a father who protected the short, for fear that the reporter would take Li Qing to the pit and become the target of everyone. Assistant coach Bovac looked at Klopp with a smile and said with a smile, "Jurgen, why are you staring at others?" "Yes?" Klopp turned around, put his hands behind his back, and said lightly, "Just now, I was just thinking about the league game against Arsenal at Anfield the day after tomorrow." His ears are pricked up, and he can't wait to reach the mouth of the official Premier League reporter. "Really?" Bovac smiled a little meaningfully. In addition to awarding Li Qing the Player of the Month trophy, the official staff of the Premier League also interviewed some questions, which were very simple, asking nothing more than what is it like to win the Premier League Player of the Month as a 16-year-old teenager? What is your special feeling that you are the first player in Liverpool to win the Player of the Month title in the past 3 years? What are your prospects for yourself in the future, etc.? Klopp listened to these questions and answers, and his tense nerves gradually relaxed. Kravitz laughed next to him. It seems that Jurgen has a very good opinion that the Premier League official has not awarded him the Coach of the Month. Bovac apparently knew Klopp better, and he knew his friends weren't staring at the official Premier League staff because of this, and he smiled and walked straight away, beckoning the team to start the fence again. Premier League officials left Melwood after a few simple questions, and Liverpool's first-team players resumed training. The award of the Premier League Player of the Month to Li Qing in February is no one's surprise. On the contrary, it will make people feel that the Premier League official is shady. Liverpool have 4 Premier League games in February, at home to Chelsea, away to Hull City, home to Tottenham and away to Leicester City. In addition to Liverpool's visit to Hull City due to a red card, Li Qing played well in the other 3 games, even if he came off the bench. His 7 goals and 3 assists have brought Liverpool 3 consecutive wins, and are also the biggest contributor to Liverpool's grip on Chelsea in the table. Interestingly, Li Qing is the first player to win the award as a substitute since the establishment of the Premier League Month Award. Social platforms such as INS, Twitter, Facebook, Microwave, and Ball Emperor quickly published news about the official Player of the Month, and the winner Li Qing became a fan-hot image around the world. Domestic fans are very proud of the honor. The domestic media and fans of Baseball Country and Sun Country scoffed, and Baseball Country media and fans did not need domestic media and fans in this regard, because Son Heung-min won the Premier League Player of the Month last September, and he became the first Asian player to win the glory. Captain of the Year was won by Pep Guardiola in February, the first time he has been elected since he took charge of Manchester City, along with Antonio Conte, Jose Mourinho, and Jurgen Klopp. If you look at the results, Klopp led the team to the best results. There's a reason why he hasn't awarded Jurgen Klopp the Coach of the Month, and Liverpool's 4 league wins in February weren't because of how strong his lineup was, but because of Li Qing's massive number of goals. This is also the fundamental reason why Li Qing won the Player of the Month award, while Klopp did not win the Coach of the Month. Of course, Liverpool's local media Echo and Post are skeptical of the official selection of the Premier League. Professional football has always been about results. Klopp's 4 consecutive wins are not enough to beat Pep Guardiola, who led the team to 3 consecutive victories. Klopp is not entangled in the official selection of the Premier League, and he currently cares about the team's upcoming opponent Arsenal. The first leg of the season was played at the Emirates Stadium, and the 2 teams played a heart-wrenching match that ended with Liverpool 43 winning. The move to Anfield is destined to be worth watching. In addition, the mainstream European media also took another focus match between the 2 teams as a reference. It was the 2008-2009 Premier League season, and visiting Arsenal drew 44 with Liverpool at Anfield thanks to Russian international Arshavin's 4 goals. With 2 classic matches being presented by the media and fans as references, more and more fans are following Liverpool's Premier League home game against Arsenal. Maybe it's the different teams you like, the players you like, or some goals you don't agree with, and more fans are joining the war of words. However, Liverpool and Arsenal players and coaches have not been affected. They are all focused and tacitly focused on the game that will start in the near future. 2 days passed in the blink of an eye, and the Anfield Stadium, which can hold 54,000 fans, was packed more than an hour before the match. As Arsenal's home shirt is also red, the highlight match at Anfield is completely turned into a sea of red. Li Qing, who was remembered by countless fans, still did not appear in the starting lineup, but Liverpool fans and Li Qing fans were not worried about Li Qing's appearance, because, in their opinion, the substitute Li Qing is the most powerful Li Qing. What is unexpected is that the Liverpool starters in this game have a new mental outlook and play well overall. Taking the lead in the opening 10 minutes, Maine used his speed to complete a quick cross before Monreal's defense was in place. Coutinho attracted the defense and missed a brilliant miss, and Firmino pushed in from the distance. In the 40th minute, Liverpool extended the score with successive crosses from left-back Milner, Wijnaldum and Roberto Firmino, and finally Maine, who received the ball from the right side of the box, scored. 2 goals ahead, Liverpool manager Jurgen Klopp is in good spirits, and in his perception, such a performance is worthy of Liverpool's shirt. If it weren't for Li Qing at the end of January and February, I don't know how many points behind Chelsea now. That kind of performance, worthy of the Liverpool shirt? Clearly not worthy. Liverpool went into the dressing room with a 2-goal lead and Li Qing felt a little depressed, and the team was in good shape, which basically meant that he had less time coming off the bench. Sure enough, the team is 2 goals ahead, and Klopp is not even in the mood to look at the bench.